Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's Tuesday Training with Tom, only used for alliteration because we also have the one and only, the amazing Donna Fox with us today. Donna, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Tom. Thanks. Glad to be here.
Awesome. Awesome. We are pumped up and ready to share what I feel, and this may be a little bold to say, but I feel this is not only the perfect time for this particular training, whether you're watching it live or you're going to watch the replay later on. But as you can see on this initial page here, you see in the corner, the bottom, well, the left-hand side, you see the world, you see the virus, and you see some money, right? So obviously we all, regardless of where we are joining from today, have recognized the world has changed in the last week. And with change, comes uncertainty. With change comes questions. With change comes business as usual, and life as usual is pretty much not the same as it was a week ago or 10 days ago. It's literally changed the world. So that said, in the upper right-hand corner, I was big on images today, Donna. You can see there's also the little clover there because it's also St. Patrick's Day. Not that it's a huge religious day or anything like that, but it's a day that in America, a lot of people get together and party, but doesn't seem like that will be happening this particular St. Patrick's Day, which is another example of how the world has changed. But that is something we'll jump into a little bit as we go through the bullet points here and share with you what we're going to be covering today. So we're going to pick it up from where we left off last week, where we went into GrooveSell and actually created a funnel, created products, created the different pricings. And at the end of that, there was an opportunity to copy and paste some code that it said to put in the body of your sales page. And we'll get into how and where to do that. We'll get into why to do that, how simple it is. And then we'll also show how to activate that funnel, activate that product that you created in GrooveSell, and get the URL necessary to put that on your buy now button, or whatever your call to action wording is on your button for people to purchase your products and services. So we'll get into that. And then we're also going to touch into what it actually means when creating a sales page, as far as the messaging, as far as the copy, as far as if you study marketing, these four letters have been ever present since early days in marketing. AIDA: attention, interest, desire, action. If you haven't heard that, or if you would like a refresher on that, write down AIDA and go Google that when we're done with our training today, because that will show you how important those four things are to keep in mind as you're putting together your videos, as you're putting together your headlines, your copy, and the whole sales page. But I'm going to show you something today, and Donna, I'm not even sure if you've seen this yet. It was something that I was exposed to when I came down to work with Rich Sheffrin several years ago, and they're called empathy maps. And I'm going to show you an example of an empathy map that, regardless of what niche you're in, it will show you the framework to where you can construct your own personal empathy map to do what that second bullet point says: enter the conversation in your prospect's mind. And when you see empathy maps, man, it's going to blow your mind, and I'm excited to share that with you. But first, I'm jumping ahead because I'm quite excited. Let me jump over to the questions area and see if you can hear me. Type a 1. Type a 1 in the comments so I see who's with me and where are we all. Okay, there we go. Jody, Sally, Tammy, John, Sandy, oh my goodness, a whole bunch of you. Cecilia, Wesley, Alan, Jeffrey, Scott, Mark, Vaughn, Terry, Gary, Stephen, Christian, Dan, Jason, Timothy, Anton, Stephen, George, Stephen, a lot of Stevens today. VJ, Pierre, all right, Daryl, David, Mark, Oladair, VJ, Tanya. Oh, Auckland. VJ's from Auckland. Right in where you're from if you want to as well. Tanya, Patrick, Benjamin, Claude, Roger, Mark, can you talk about agency? Good question. Van says safe with VQ. I don't know what that means, Van. Eldon of New Zealand. Wow, we got people from all over the place. Lance, Van from Monterey, Gary from the UK, Tanya, Auckland, New Zealand. All right. Sean from Utah. Man, we're packed house here, and I'm super excited you all are here, and I'm glad you can hear me, and I'm glad I remembered that. Daryl from South Carolina, good to see you. And it's bold, but you're going to get some information that I think will help you understand like that second bullet point we just talked about, how to enter the conversation in your prospect's mind via empathy maps. If you've never seen it, it's going to be amazing. We're going to then transition into how to create that sales page inside Groove Pages, connect it all with GrooveSell, the products and services that you created there, and the pricing and all that. And then we're going to touch on the mindset of a marketer amidst chaotic times. And here's a newsflash: all times, if we really think about it, are chaotic in one way or another. But we are all, as a world, witnessing how this is a much higher level of chaos due to the whole world and the whole world economy being dramatically impacted at this particular juncture due to this coronavirus pandemic. Nico from the Canary Islands, great. I was just talking with one of my great friends who lives over in Tenerife. I've been to Tenerife and had some great masterminds that we've conducted there. I love Tenerife. All right, so that's what we're going to talk about today, what you see on this page. And as you've already heard, we're not going to skate over the elephant in the room. Obviously, we're not going to dive super deep and break apart everything and analyze everything, but we are not going to skip over what's currently happening in the world. And that last bullet point was entering the mind of a marketer in chaotic times, right? Because when there's large adversity, when there's large challenges, there's also large opportunity. And there's also, from a marketing standpoint, the recognition and being aware that business as usual, life as usual has modified. And to keep on the path, and if you already had a campaign in motion, for instance, and you don't bring up the elephant in the room, you may not be entering the conversation in your prospect's mind. So this is where, I actually have seen several marketers with big names that obviously their ads that they're running were put into play prior to what's happened in the past week. And my guess is they're probably not getting as much engagement due to it not entering the conversation that's going on in their prospects and clients' mind. So we're going to talk about that elephant in the room. But first, we're going to dive over and check out some of the dev updates. And let me know with a 2 in the chat if you can see my page that has Groove Digital open right now, or if I need to modify something here. Oh, I think I do need to modify it. Yep, here we go. So I'm gonna go to Safari. There we go. Safari, now you can see it, right? So give me a 2 if you see it. Okay, perfect. So now we see the Groove Pages dev updates. All right, so here's the good news. And I'm actually gonna read this because it's got some good stuff. The updates have been a little bit behind, and he explains why. So here's what was shared earlier today. It's been about 10 days since the last update, so I figured I'd go ahead and let you know what's been happening. Beginning of March, we ended the previous dev cycle, during which we worked mostly on bugs and usability, and started a new one. So during this new cycle, we're shifting focus partly to work on a number of new features. Some of these will take a few weeks to complete, hence the frequency of updates slows down a bit. That said, we did release a bunch of updates recently, which I'll be listing below. We're focusing on implementing proper funnel functionality, preparing for site/funnel imports, which is going to be super amazing, and expanding our template selection, which also is going to be super cool. So in the meantime, they have fixed the pop-up builder break after placing GoToWebinar element. They added negative margins and multi-select margins. They fixed revisions and functionality not working properly. They improved the tab element, easier to select the element itself. Clicking any element inside tab element will bring up the configure tab. They fixed drag and drop problems inside tab elements, improved drag and drop for new blocks on the canvas. Previously, it was hard to place blocks at the top or bottom. They improved the user interface animations, transitions, sidebars, and canvas. So that's pretty exciting. And just to go back to the last line prior to the bullet points there, preparing for site/funnel imports. When Mike Filsame did his training a few weeks back, he shared with us that there's going to be the capability to go find a page or a campaign that you like and actually import that in. And when they do that, they're obviously going to have some things in place to where you'll have to replace the images because there's copyright issues, and then you also have to modify the copy. So there's been talk of how they're going to do that in a manner that doesn't tempt anybody to veer into some gray/black areas where you could get in trouble. So they're preparing for that, and I am super excited. And I know Donna and Mike and the whole team is super excited as well. And just picture from your perspective of seeing just an amazing campaign that maybe just happened or happened a while back, that you're like, man, they really nailed it. I wish I could do something similar to that. Instead of going to create that, you can actually import that in and just make the modifications, put in your pictures, put in your text, and now you have that beautiful site that delivers your message in a manner that blows your prospects' minds and gets them super excited. So those are some updates, and we will jump back over to the slides. And so here we go. So I'll share this in discussion, and then we'll jump over to show it in action between GrooveSell and GroovePages, and I'll also give you a brief recap of what we did over in GrooveSell in creating your funnel and creating your product. So basically, at the end of that, when you create the new funnel and you create the products and the price points and the landing page URLs and all the different elements of creating it in GrooveSell, at the end, you got to a point where it said, okay, copy and paste this and put it in the body code. And actually, I'll go to that right now. So that's one of them that I created, this example right here. So when you finish, all at the top, you see one in the steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to proof and finish. When you finish, congratulations, the product's been configured. Paste this code in the body section. Now, this is a tracking code because when you go through those steps at the top, you are able to put in all the tracking tools that you'd be using when you created that product for each of the different pages and each of the different thank you pages. So you can do it as minimal or as in-depth as you feel necessary for your particular funnel and products. But the great part about it is you only need to copy and paste this one line of code to put on your sales page. And I'll show you where to do that, but that just simplifies the whole process. I remember a couple trainings ago where Donna was sharing, how the things that Mike put into GrooveSell when he was giving us his demo saved literally her and team members hours and hours of time where they would have to copy and paste and copy and paste. So this whole end part where people ask, what do I do with that? I'll show you how simple it is. You copy that code and you paste it on your sales page in the body area, and that's all simply for the tracking. And you may or may not be the person who knows all about the tracking, but your advertising person is going to love this, the simplicity, and you will as well from the tracking that it's going to give you. Then you actually have to activate the funnel. It's kind of like when you create your sales page, you publish it and make it live. Once you create the funnel and you have the products in there and you have all the thank you pages and the codes in there for your tracking, and once it's done and you're back at the main menu, you can't forget to activate it, right? And so when you activate it, now it gives you the next code, which is basically where you copy and paste the order page details from within the GrooveSell and place that on your order button in GroovePages. So we'll jump over and do that real quickly right now. Let me jump over here. I'm going to make sure that I'm putting you here. So let me see, you should be able to see that now. So now I'm going to open up GrooveSell. And I'm just going to go through a brief recap because I want to show you how simple this is and how you don't have to spend a huge amount of time doing all this. I mean, literally, we can just go into funnels right now. Yes, I can go to my product funnels and go into some stuff that's already there. But just to give you an idea, I mean, real quickly, watch how simple this is. Internal name, test 2, name, test 2. And you could give a description like, but this is just consider you're in product creation mode, or you just want to have the ability for people to buy stuff. And then once it's in here, that's the test 2. You could add a product or you could go in and modify it right now. So if we go in here, this is where you would name your product, and it's already named 2, test 2. So let's keep it there. So front end product. So we're going to go there, save and next. Pricing, and we can just go with one payment, single payment. So price point name, simple purchase, name it whatever you want. One time, we're just going to go $47, right? And then you have all the options here where it could be recurring, it could be installments. And just to show you, so one time of 47, and then we're going to add a new price point. and hopefully my internet didn't just die. All right. Okay, showing Google Chrome. All right, well, this, ladies and gentlemen, is part of doing the live trainings. I just did this real simply prior to getting here. So I'm going to skip the whole live aspect. I'll go back to showing you an example here. So, okay, so now we've got my 2 products in this. All right, so now once you've created a whole product funnel and added your products in there, let's go to interview series. What I'm going to do is basically change this to draft mode to show you. Okay, so now what I have to do is make it live, right? So after you create it last week, you see over here, when we get back, it says draft mode underneath the name. So that's the hint to you when you create your products and services in your funnel. If it says draft mode, you have to go in and make it live. Yes, we're going to make it live. Now it's live. Now, if we want to get the actual code to paste on our order page, you just go over here and click on the shopping cart. And when you click on that, it's going to open up the single price checkout, the multi-price checkout. So you get to choose which one you want to go with. And we're going to do the single price. And this one was an example. It's $17 a month. You copy that code. And now that's the code that goes on your order button on your sales page. As simple as that. So, and I'll just show you up in here just to give you an idea. So when people click on your order button, here's what they see. Bundle pricing, $17 per month. And then obviously this is where you can go back in and modify things. So let's just go into this one and modify some stuff. You click on that icon and then it brings you back to the pricing and all the different steps here. So let's see, hopefully the internet walks me through this. So we're just going to skip ahead until we get to a couple things that we can change. So this is where we picked our payment gateway. So I have PayPal, I have the credit card. I chose each of them to have 100% because remember, when we take that away, you have to have, if you have multiple payment gateways, one can be at 50%, the other can be at 50%, one can be at 70, one can be at 30. Keep everything at 100. We're just going to go save and next. Content. So now here's where you'd have your sales page URL, your thank you page URL, and the refund period with a buffer period. Now the checkout, this is where you get to do the look and feel. So, I mean, you can play around. Let's just throw in this picture here and see what happens. Select that. All right, choose image. Whoops, select. And then preview. Okay, well, I'll save it and we'll see how it works. So then I'm gonna save that next. So now that we saved it, I'm just gonna go over here and refresh, and maybe it won't do anything because, yeah, okay, so it put the, see, as you modify it, it updates. So I put the picture there. Now you see when you upload your picture, there's where the picture goes. You can modify the color, you can modify other things. So this is a way for you to test the actual look of it while you're doing it, to make sure that as you make changes here, you can go over to the other page, refresh it, and see it live, what your people are gonna be seeing when they're purchasing. Make sense? Okay, so then you just go through and all the way through the process, and you could add in webhooks and all sorts of fun things. A lot of stuff coming up with the different price points. You'd be able to have different thank you pages as well as your advanced tracking code, which is that code at the end, which we're going to get to in a little bit. And you're advertising people and yourself when you know how to track all these numbers, and the data is going to show you amazing ways of how you can improve the whole funnel. All right, we're going to skip ahead. You can turn the affiliate program on or off. Proof is coming soon, as is this. So then here is where you would take this code, you copy this, you can copy it there, and then we're going to save and exit. And then we go back over to Groove Pages, and let's just pick one. I mean, we can actually start a new one. So we'll do a new site, go to the template, and we're just going to pick, we'll pick this one here, select. Okay, so now we name this whatever we want, but when we take that one code, we go to the site settings, and then we scroll down to the body. Remember it said take that code and paste it in the body. So here's where we paste that and we check it. And now that's it for the tracking code. So all the tracking that you did over in GrooveSell, this is where you do that. So I'll slow down and show you how I did that. So whatever site you want to add that particular product or service that you created over in GrooveSell, you simply open it up, go to site settings, you scroll down into the second one, which says body, and you paste it in there and you're good to go. Now, probably should have done oh, actually I got the URL right here. So this one is the URL. I have to get the whole thing. Now this is the URL that you'd put on your order button. So I want to try, you can name this and change it, but when we configure it, now whatever you want to name the button, you say to URL, paste the URL. You can open it in a new tab or not, and you update it. So when people click on that button, and you can change this. Yes. I want this. Whatever you want to name it, when they click on that button, it's going to go now to the order page. And so that's as simple as it gets of how to coordinate GrooveSell with Groove Pages. We're going to dig into more stuff here in a second, but let me jump over. Give me, oh, I see some comments here. I'll scroll down and see what we got going, but give me a 2 if you understood what I did with those 2 particular things that I copied and pasted from GrooveSell into Groove Pages. Give me a 2. Okay. So Charles, Pierre, Wesley, Cecilia, Mark, Nico. All right, George, Sean, Stephen, Jeffrey. Okay, good. So it looks like people are understanding it. And that's the simplicity and the beauty of how easy this is. And all that stuff that you did over in GrooveSell with all the tracking and all that stuff, you only need those 2 URLs. The one URL you copy and paste real simply in the site settings, in the body area, and that's going to do all the tracking for you and your people running your ads. So you'll be able to track exactly who's getting where and what actions are they taking or not taking, and you can modify and adjust accordingly based on the data. And then for the button, that's the part where you just copy and paste that URL that leads to the order process that you want for that particular page. All right, so we're on board. It's simple, and you may remember that my nickname is the simplifier. I like to keep things simple. So that's as complicated as it gets. It's super simple. There you are, those 2 things that you copy and paste. And you saw that. Now, we're going to jump over to what I feel is a game changer. If you've never seen this, it's going to open your eyes to how to enter the conversation in your prospects' minds. Now, this is what's called an empathy map. And I'm going to see if do you see the full screen? Is it bigger now? Do you see it bigger, or is it the same size a second ago?
Same size for me.
Okay. I don't know how to make it bigger then. I just made it bigger on my screen, but there it is. So what I'll do is I'll go through this empathy map and take a screenshot of it, and I'll be reading a little bit of it, but basically giving you the premise of what this empathy map is. So this is an empathy map for the internet marketing community. So people that sell products to the business opportunity space in internet marketing. This is pretty much an empathy map which goes beyond the avatar or persona, right? So in the middle, you'll see the face there, and that is the avatar / persona of who your ideal client is. Some people give this person a name, male name, a female name, but in the middle, you see there, 45 years old, married, 2 kids, been in for 3 years, tried everything. Nothing has worked to the level that they wanted it to work. I got to make my screen bigger so I can read it better. Okay. Knows it can work. Nothing has really worked. And then in the upper left-hand side of this diagram, it has thinking / feeling. So in the middle of your page, take a blank sheet of paper, and in the middle, right, that's your avatar. Psychologically and demographically, who is that person who is your ideal client? And then in the upper left-hand bubble, what are they thinking and feeling? And I'll circle back over to some other things here in a second, but I got to figure out, minimize that. So,
Maybe
okay,
you can
now I
just
got.
share this image with people, or even just share the image on your screen
I don't
of
know how
the
to.
map versus, oh,
Okay. Well,
it's better. Whatever you just did is better.
okay, good. Okay, cool.
Still hard to
And then
read.
so in the upper left-hand corner, it's thinking slash feeling. In the right-hand corner, it's seeing. What are they seeing? What's going on? What are they observing in the marketplace? In the bottom right-hand corner, what are they saying and asking? Like, and entering that conversation in their mind. And then in the bottom left-hand corner, what are they hearing? And then below the avatar slash persona is the language. Those are the terminology, you know, that people outside the industry would have no idea what the heck they're talking about. But people in the industry, these are the words and these are the slang or the lingo that they're hearing. So this is, as I mentioned, for the internet marketing community. And if you are in the internet marketing community, you're welcome. This just saved you huge amounts of research and development. This is something that can change your marketing and amplify the results dramatically. So let's just go through and give you some examples. So what is this marketplace thinking and feeling? I don't think this will ever work. I've tried everything. I'm sick of not making any money from internet marketing. I'm sick of constantly having to learn new stuff. I hate my job. I need to have more freedom. This training looks great, but I don't want to spend time learning something else unless I'm certain it will work. I'm sick of all the noise, BS, and false promises. I feel ripped off and frustrated. I feel I've wasted too much time trying to make internet marketing work. I spent too much money on training. I've overcomplicated everything. I need a mentor I like and trust. So thinking and feeling, and picture your ideal prospect or a client. You know, these are the things that they're thinking and feeling, and they've been through. This is what they've experienced, and you may have resonated with some of that, as I did. And then in the upper right hand corner, seeing, they're seeing constant launches of expensive internet marketing courses, lots of magic pill solutions, lots of false scarcity, lots of product launch formula style launches, lots of conflicting advice, lots of hyped up sales letters, videos, webinars. Nothing that stands out or is nothing's making a difference, right? So let me know, like, does this stuff make sense? Is this stuff resonating for you? Hit me up in the comments if this is helpful or something that you're resonating with. Yeah, and Donna, I will do that. So basically what I'm going to do is share this whole image inside the Facebook group so that you guys can see it. And it's not the best you know, or whatever they call it, the dots per inch, you know, DPI, but you will be able to read it. So then in the bottom right hand corner, what are they saying and asking? The gurus are full of BS. What's the best simple method to make a good living online? Which guru can I trust? Is anyone making any money? Can I make money on my own, or do I need a team? Is it too late to make money online? Now that the big operations are getting in the act, how can I be certain that a specific internet marketing business model will work? Internet marketing is much more harder than everyone makes it out to be. And then what are they hearing in the bottom left-hand corner? Internet marketing is a mug's game. Only the gurus make money. You're spending too long sitting in front of your PC. Give it up. It will never work. How much money have you spent on this latest training course? You're a dreamer. Why can't you have a normal hobby? Have you made any money yet? Let's have a look at one of your websites. How do you even make money online, right? So as you're hearing this, you may have heard similar things from others in this journey. So this is the empathy map, which gives you a little bit more in depth of who your ideal prospect and client is, what they're thinking and feeling, what they're seeing, what they're saying and asking, and what they're hearing. And then below that, you have the language, you know, so SEO, PPC, conversion, ranking, SERP, squeeze page, blog, CTR, PPV, traffic, webinar, solo ads, JVs, OTOs, upsells, downsells, etc. Funnels, email marketing, all this stuff. So you get the picture. So if you're not in the internet marketing crowd, you'd want to take a look and put together your own empathy map for your particular target audience. And I'm looking at some of the comments here, and it looks like you're digging the empathy map. Give me a 3 if you're digging the empathy map. Type a 3 in the comments if you're loving that. So it looks like people are liking it. Very cool, very cool. Okay, good stuff. Lots of
There
stuff.
were a
Okay,
couple of
good.
comments about the empathy map that I think it's worth highlighting.
Okay.
Um, George said that these are great questions for us to answer,
Yep.
both for ourselves, but also as a way of asking questions to our people to get information from them. Are you feeling this way? It allows you to be empathetic. That's the name, the empathy map. Allows you to
Hmm.
be a little more empathetic. So even if you don't know the answer, it's a good way to approach them
Hmm.
to maybe get an answer from them or get more information from them as well.
Correct. And think about this from like the billion-dollar companies, the large companies when they get a group of their ideal prospects together and they poll them and they ask them a lot of questions and they really want to wrap their arms around, what are they feeling? What are they thinking? What are they seeing? What are they saying? What are they asking? What are they hearing? And those are where they get together, those people in rooms, present what they have to present and then get the feedback. And that's where they come up with their own empathy maps and get an idea of who their target market is, what questions they have, and all that good stuff. Pierre says the empathy map is the elephant in the room. Yes, yes,
That's right.
yeah.
We'll also let everyone know that Mike Filsame just poked his head in and said, I don't want to interrupt, but tell everyone I said hi.
Oh,
So
cool.
he said
Very
hi,
good.
and he'll be on next week with awesome updates.
Very
I
cool.
don't even
Looking
know what
forward to
they
it.
are, so
Good
I
deal.
can't give
Good.
you a hint.
Good. So ladies and gentlemen, this is an empathy map, and like I said, if you're not in the internet marketing world, that's okay. You can do your research and find out who your ideal target client is, and from finding out that, you can also go to a few resources to see what they're thinking and feeling and seeing, and some of the resources are, Google. Like when you type in your particular niche, there's a way to find out what those people are thinking. And I'll find that resource for you here shortly. I think I may have shared it last week, but I'll find it again and share it. I didn't have it in the resources that I posted a little bit, that we'll get to in a little bit. But circling back to taking that empathy map, now that allows you to have the right data and information to enter the conversation in your prospect's mind. So when you're creating your sales page, and here's some questions that Donna and Mike and I get when people are putting together their sales page. Like, okay, is it a video? Is it text? You remember a long time ago when Mike and I released the 7-figure code, it was a long sales page. I don't know how many pages, but it must have been 30, 40, maybe more pages. But it also had videos incorporated in the long sales page to give people examples. Now, that's old school. That came out in 07, 07, 07. I wouldn't recommend you doing something similar to that in today's day and age because of some things we'll get to a little bit later. People's attention span is very short compared to what it was years ago. So you have to discern, is it a video, is it text, is it a combination of them? And then the next question is, well, Tom, Donna, Mike, whoever the expert is that we get asked all the time, well, how long should it be? And here's the answer. If you want to know how long a video or how long the sales letter should be, here's the answer. As long as it needs to be. Well, Tom, that's kind of vague. Fill me in more. Well, here's taking it a little further than as long as it needs to be. As long as it needs to be for your prospect, for your ideal client to understand what the message is, so they consume the message enough to make a qualified decision. And obviously, as a copywriter, as a marketer, you're hoping that qualified decision is a yes. So you need to sit down and I'll show you a couple strategies here that we have coming up soon, and figure out what's the best way for us to get this message consumed and presented to our ideal prospects and clients in a manner where they see the value and say, I want that. Like, not like, whoa, here's a little hint. So when Mike and I would come up with an offer and a new product or new service, we had a few friends we'd reach out to. And here's what we didn't want to hear. Oh yeah, that looks good. No, that looks pretty good. We didn't want to hear that. Here's what we wanted to hear. Holy crap, I want that now. How can I buy it now? Where can I PayPal you money now? You hear the difference? Which would you rather have? So you don't want people to say, oh yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, oh yeah, that's gonna be great. You want people to say, holy crap, I want it now. Like, I'll PayPal you money right here, right now. And just to give you an example, so I mean, years back when Mike created the beta version of what became Webinar Jam, he shared it with a few people. And one of those few people, and this is not private information, it was discussed in many stages and shared publicly, was Russell Brunson. And he shared it with Russell, and Russell's like, I'll PayPal you $10,000 right now. I want it now. I don't want to wait for the launch. And that's one example of many that's what you want. When you share it with people, you don't want to hear them tell you how great it is. You want to have them say, I want to send you money for this now. How can I get this? And not even go down the friend route. Like, hey, I know you're a friend. Hey, how about you give me a shot? Can I take a look at that? They're willing to throw their credit card at you, is the response that you want. So you have to craft that messaging. And when you study some of the copy writers that I'll be sharing a few resources here in a bit, some of them have the analogy of you need to present your case in the video, in the text, in the message that they're going to consume, where picture a jury, picture a courtroom, and you're the attorney convincing the jury to go your route. And you have to present your case in a manner that logically and emotionally walks them through the process where they're like, yeah, I get what you're saying, and holy crap, I'm on board, right? And they're not just liking it, but they want to give you money for that product or service. So how long does it need to be? As long as it needs to be for them to consume that message and be wanting what you have. And that's it. So what are some strategies? So I'll share with you a couple different strategies that are real quick and easy, right? As the simplifier, I like to keep things simple. One of them are 9 words to hundreds of millions in results. So when Mike and I would sit down with a blank sheet of paper and like, okay, what are we offering? Many times we went back to, okay, let's start with the 9 words. I'm going to be sharing with you what those 9 words are here in a second. And then also there's the Carlton Kern method. So John Carlton came up with it, and Frank Kern loved it so much that when Kern came out with some powerful trainings, he shared Carlton's method, and it became the Carlton Kern method. Not sure if that's the actual name of it, but that's what I named it, and I'm going to be going into that as well, which is another way for you to simply present your case using one of those two or a combination of those two in presenting your case in a manner where people get it, they understand it, and they want to take action because they see the benefits that are waiting for them when they do get a hold of what this product or service is that you're talking about. So what is the 9 words to millions? Here are the 9 words to millions, and I probably could change that to a B. When you break down, geez, even the biggest names in pretty much any industry, if you look at Tony Robbins, if you look at, Mike Filsaime, if you look at, pretty much any big name you could ever look up to, and any big marketing campaign, you'll be able to find these 9 words in there. So these are the 9 words. Tell your story, share your results, and sell your system. So when you're looking at that blank sheet of paper and you're coming up with an offer, and you know who that person is that you're selling it to because you've done the empathy map, you now can say, okay, how am I going to enter the conversation in their mind? And I'm going to tell my story, share my results, and sell my system. And that's a way to go from that blank sheet of paper and now have some type of form, rhyme, and reason of you briefly and concisely sharing what you've got and how it can benefit them and what they do to take action. So these 9 words, if you've never heard them, write them down and take a look. Think back to Tony Robbins, think back to Brian Tracy, think back to pretty much insert guru's name. Nowadays, Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, they told their story, they shared their results, and they sold their system. Now, here's some feedback that I've gotten from a lot of people around the world that I've shared this with. And the first one, well, Tom, I don't have a story. I don't have the story that so-and-so has. Well, guess what? You've got your story. And here's what makes your story unique, regardless of how many competitors you have in your marketplace. Write down PEP, your PEP. Your PEP separates you from everyone else. And this is part of your story. your PEP, is your personality, your experience, and your perspective. So in your story, you bring in your personality, your experience, and your perspective. Perspective alone separates you from everyone else. Tom, I'm in this niche where pretty much everybody's the same. Well, guess what? They don't have your personality, they don't have your experience, and they don't have your perspective. They may have similar experience, but they definitely don't have your perspective and or personality. So use those three things to your advantage in telling your story. Then share your results. Here's where I was. Here's, and you'll find this in the hero's journey and a whole bunch of different deeper elements of how to craft a story and all this. But here's where I was. Here's the big problem I was facing. Here's the thing that I discovered through chance. And after taking proper steps, here's where I ended up. And not only did I do it, I've been able to help others do the same thing. So if you're wanting to get from here to there, follow this system. And then some people are like, okay, well, I don't have a system. Well, that's where you have to create a system, and that's where you have to give it a name. You have to, come up with whatever your system is that makes you unique. And you don't want it to be something that people can Google and, oh, okay, great. Thanks, Sally, for telling me about that. Yeah, I Googled it, and yeah, it looks pretty cool. I think I can do it. You want to come up with what people call a unique mechanism, which is your system. That if they Googled it, you would be the only one that they would find that could provide that. Because with your unique personality, experience, and perspective, it's your unique system and your unique twist, which may have a lot of similarities to other people's systems, but it doesn't have your unique personality, experience, and perspective, which makes it your unique mechanism that they can't get anywhere else but from you. All right, so those are the 9 words. Then the next one, which you can use one or both or combine them together. This is the Carlton Kern method. And basically, it's 3 sentences. Here's what I've got. Here's what it will do for you. Here's what to do next. And it's simple, and people can get way deeper in all this. But remember, it's attention spans that we're dealing with that are much shorter than they used to be years ago. So we have to craft the messages in a powerful way that get people's attention, keep it, and allow them to stick around to consume the message enough to where they don't just say, oh, that sounds pretty nice. They're like, holy crap, I need this now. Remember that. You don't want people to feel good. You don't want people to say, oh, that's nice. Holy cow, this is exactly what I've been looking for. This enters the conversation in their mind, solves their main problems, pain points, difficulties, challenges, and gets them to the promised land. And this is a 3-sentence simple way to begin crafting your message. Here's what I've got. Here's what it will do for you. Here's what to do next. All right, so that's me talking a lot there. I'm going to jump into the things here to see what's going on here. Pierre, it shouldn't be longer or shorter than the length it will be. Yes, that's the Zen answer. Yes, good stuff. George, thanks. Charles, great training. All right, good. Build authority. Yes. Yes. Okay, so the feedback looks pretty good. Y'all are following along with me. Cool. Now this is all circling back to how to craft your message in and on your sales page. Right now, I have studied these and many others, and you probably have heard these names before, but copywriting is not as simple as those 2 strategies that I shared. Right? I wish it was. Those are starting points, and those can be good enough, right? There's a quote that says something along the lines of, you don't have to get it right, you just have to get it going. Something that's imperfectly finished and done is better than something that's perfectly unfinished and not done. Imperfect action always beats perfect inaction, right? So those 2 strategies that I shared with you, hopefully can get your gears in motion to take something and follow either the 9-word format of tell your story, share your results, sell your system, or here's what I've got, here's what it will do for you, here's what to do next, and take that blank sales page and be able to craft a video, come up with some headlines, come up with some copy that can get people to pay attention to it, consume the message enough to where they can make the decision to say yes. And let me just jump real quickly to how important it is. People, if they don't consume the message, getting their attention enough for them to see it and bounce a couple seconds later isn't enough for them to make the proper decision. So getting and keeping people's attention. Never underestimate what it takes nowadays to get and keep people's attention. And the more you go through the empathy map, the more you get used to conversing with your people and finding out what their fears, their worries, their concerns, their doubts, their uh, all that stuff, the things that keep them up at night, and then also flip to the other side of the things that they just would love to be a reality, and you know what it will be like once they get there. Um, so these are some people, if you've not studied, to possibly take a look at. Gary Halbert, I would recommend Googling boron letters, Boron. The boron letters by Gary Halbert is amazing. If you Google them, you'll probably be able to find them for free. He's written them on his blog, and you can buy the book, but it's really powerful, not too thick, but very jam-packed with action. Dan Kennedy has been one of the great copyright teachers of our time. He is highly recommended. John Carlton, we learned his simple method, but he's got much more complex, amazing copy chops and some great lessons to share. Ted Nicholas, uh, Donna and I and Mike met Ted back in March of 2005, and Ted just passed away about a month ago. So I was sad to hear that, but he is an absolute legend in copywriting, produced billions of dollars in results. Gary Bencivenga got a great blog that if you Google his name, you'll find some great insights. Clayton Makepeace, I've had some amazing time learning from Clayton. He's an incredible copywriter of today's day and age. Joe Sugarman also has some great lessons on copy that you'll be able to find in books and all sorts of stuff like that. And then a classic that's a little difficult to find on and get the book, but if you are able to get it, it will dramatically, and I spelled it wrong, dramatically improve your marketing results. Let me spell that right. Breakthrough.
Almost, right?
Yeah, almost.
I want to add
Breakthrough.
another one to this list.
Sure,
The
sure.
16-word sales letter.
Yes. Yep. I just spent some time
Incredible,
with
incredible.
Evaldo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Evaldo Albuquerque, the 16-word sales letter. I just spent some time with Evaldo. He is a genius, and he didn't even speak English a few years ago. And he did over $100 million in sales in just the last few years for Agora Financial, and he is brilliant. And the 16-word sales letter by Evaldo Albuquerque is a real simple, quick read, but super powerful. And you know, I guess I'll fill him in, Donna. Here's the good news and bad news. It's not just 16 words. The 16 words are
It's sort of
it's a
like the 9 words.
right, one sentence plus a question, right, one sentence, yeah, right. So the 10 questions, right, the 10 questions. But it's really powerful, and yeah, I too enjoy that. The 16 word sales letter by Evaldo Albuquerque. All right, so those are some resources in addition to what we talked about last time. This one's for headlines. Remember we talked about that last time. Portent.com/tools /title maker. Ted Nicholas, who recently passed, he has some free books. You can get one of his free books there. And then for the mindset stuff, I've been doing some recent videos that would help you in the mindset area at my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Tom Beal. And let's talk about that, right? So the elephant in the room, you know, and whether you like or dislike the gentleman at the bottom there, he just posted this a little bit before we went live, that not just is this a virus, but there's a hidden war occurring right now, and you can, I can see how this is a little bit deeper than what most people think, because look at the economic crash worldwide. And so anyhow, the elephant in the room is this, and the real world scenario is we have to, as marketers, understand that this which Zig Ziglar told me back after September 11th, 2001. So in October 2001, I was fortunate enough to meet my hero, Zig Ziglar. And Zig told me something after September 11th that I want to share with you that hopefully is impactful. I said, Zig, what do we do now? Like, remember, go back to the towers falling and go back to the uncertainty and not knowing what was going to unfold after that. And Zig said, son, do you sell something? I said, yes. He said, is what you sell, does it help the people that you sell it to? I said, yes. He said, well, it's your duty for your own personal economy and for the world economy to continue selling and to go out and sell more, like to give it your full attention, to give it your full effort, because If you don't, they win. The terrorists. If they don't, the economy suffers. If they don't, your personal economy suffers. So that lesson that I learned from Zig, I want to impart upon each of you here today and recognize, yes, chaotic times. Whether you, it doesn't matter what your beliefs or what your regard is for the virus or any of that, you can look at the world economic impact that has happened from this. And life as we knew it a week ago, 10 days ago, has changed. Now, the mindset of a marketer is to recognize that in uncertain times, when you're able to enter the conversation in your prospect's mind and get to know what people are thinking and feeling and hearing and seeing and all that stuff, you can now be that person who, as Zig said, is providing that value through your products, through your services to these people who are in need of it. And then this goes back to the mindset of a marketer. Like, if you had the cure for cancer, would you keep it a secret? No, you'd be sharing it and yelling it from the rooftops because you want to help those people. Well, similarly, you have your product and your service, which is your duty, it's your obligation, it's your responsibility to share it in a manner that gets the people who are going to benefit from it. You're able to get their attention long enough to where you'll keep their interest, you'll get them desirous of it to take the proper actions and receive the benefits that will come from working with you and your products and services. So just let that resonate with you to let you know now is your time to not get caught up in the media, to not go down paths of escapism, which, me as a Marine, for those who don't know, I served 4 years in the United States Marine Corps. I was a #1 honor graduate out of boot camp in Parris Island, South Carolina, and did very well, excelled in the Marine Corps during my 4 years. But even with my discipline, even with my, ability to give my all, it's easy to go the escape route. It's easy to get caught up in the news. It's easy to sit there and stare at it for too long, or swipe around, or play video games, or dive into alcohol or drugs, or whatever it is that is your escape route. I would encourage you to use some discipline, use some discernment to not go that path, and remind yourself of what Zig told me and what I'm reminding you here today. It's your duty, it's your responsibility to your family, to yourself, to the economy, to go provide this value and service that you and only you can provide in the manner that you can because of your personality, experience, and perspective. And when you are able to craft that message and get people to see the value that you can provide them in your unique manner, similar to what I shared Mike and I wanted, you'll see happening. People say, holy crap, this is what I've been looking for. I want this now. How can I get this now? And if you take that challenge, which I'm challenging you right now, to not go the path of escapism, to dig in and fine tune your messaging using what we've got as these amazing tools with GrooveSell and Groove Pages, to put together your proper opt-in pages, your proper thank you pages, your proper sales pages, your proper a one-time offer or upsells after the initial purchase. And the different pricing options available. Like, all of these are tests, and it's all a continual test of improving and fine-tuning and iterating your message to the point where the people who are in that empathy map, who are your ideal clients and prospects, you're able to get their attention, keep it, they're able to consume your information, understand what it is that you have, what it is that it will do for them, and what they need to do to get it, and then reap the benefits of that. And then create the testimonials and create the raving fans, and the word of mouth spreads, and your reputation spreads. This is the time, ladies and gentlemen, for each of us who are here, fortunate to have this time throughout the world. We got people all over the world here converging, not just to learn strategies through GrooveSell and Groove Pages, but to impact our future clients' lives. And now is the time for each of us to step up as leaders, each of us to step up as believers in the products and services that we have, knowing that we can be that help to the people that need what we have to offer. And so I would encourage you to not get caught up in the media, not get caught up in whatever the escapism that is your calling, like, and not doing the things that would distract you from what is now the perfect opportunity for you to step up and go learn and implement all this in Groove Pages, in GrooveSell, to get your message out there to help these people. So I just want to remind you, this is a key opportunity for you to step up and go impact these people's lives. And that's exactly what we're able to do with the tools that we have. So circling back to Groove Pages and GrooveSell. So you saw how simple it is to take those 2 lines of code, the 1 line of code here, the other line of code that goes on the button, and make the modifications. And now it's up to you to determine for this particular page, is this the page I want or not? Okay. And guess what? You can change everything and anything on all these pages. And that's the beauty of this. So for now, I can actually scoot back out of this one. And I'm going to go back to exit. I'm going to go back to Group Pages. And you can create a new site like as quick as can be. And this one here, let's just pick this one. So I used an example last week. Let me see if I can find this real quick. Oh boy, I don't want to mess around with that. Okay, so anyhow, there's the opportunity so quick for you to take a video. Like you can literally go in to YouTube, and I'll just go do this right now over here. So I'll go to YouTube. I'm on a page you probably can't see, but I'm gonna go to my youtube.com/Tom Beal, and I want to pick, not the one that auto plays. I'm gonna pick gratitude. Okay, gratitude. This one here. Basically, I'm just gonna go here, pick the last code. This has nothing to do with anything I'd be selling, but I'm gonna take the code from my YouTube video, I'm gonna paste it in here, boom, update it, boom, there it is. As simple as that. So as quick as it is for you to pick up your phone, record a quick video, upload it to YouTube, name it, you can drag in this video, which could be a process that shares the 9-word process of tell my story, share my results, sell my system, or here's what I've got, here's what it will do for you, here's what to do next. And then the button, you could automatically go right to a sales page. I didn't, it would be the URL that was on GrooveSell, this one right here. Here we go. Let's just pick that one. Let's pick this URL, boom. Open a new tab, update. As quick as that, ladies and gentlemen, if you're able to tell your story, share your results, sell your system, enter the conversation in your prospect's mind. Tell them, here's what I've got, here's what it'll do for you, here's what to do next. You rename this button, to whatever you want. I'm in. Yes. Oops. Yes, I'm in. Whatever you want to name it. Like as simple as this. This is how quick and easy it can be. There's ways to overcomplicate stuff, but there's also ways to simplify it. Whoops. Delete that. Confirm. Gone. Headline right here. And that headline, we can go to that resource that I have here. What's this resource? Portent Title Maker. So I'll go to the Portent Title Maker, open link. I'll put that over here. You can come up with a title. Real simple. So enter your subject. Weight loss. I know there's some weight loss people on here. Weight loss. 14 things about weight loss your teachers wouldn't tell you. Who really uses weight loss? How Hollywood got weight loss all wrong. What Jezebel should write about weight loss. Blah, blah, blah. How to build an empire with weight loss. What everyone is saying about weight loss. Where weight loss is headed in the next 5 years. 8 amazing weight loss pictures. Blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, investment strategy. Why Kim Kardashian will never be good at investment strategies. 8 things you don't want to hear about investment strategies, but you get the point. Pick a headline, add it in there, and you're live as quick as that, right? And yes, you can now add in a whole bunch of other stuff to support it and make your case. But the point is, don't hesitate. Seize the opportunity, get your message out there, and guess what? It's going to get better as you iterate it. You're going to get better at coming up with the proper headlines. You're going to get better at recording a video. You're going to get better at writing the copy as you study, as you get into it. I see Pierre, one client at a time. Yes. Information warfare, bio warfare. Okay, let me type that in. Bio warfare. How bio warfare could get you on OMG Insiders. 19 things that won't happen in bio warfare. The true facts about Justin Bieber's love of bio warfare. Why
That's a winner
bio
right
warfare? What's
there.
that?
That's a winner. Justin Bieber's love of
Right.
biowarfare.
Yeah, right. Why bio warfare are scarier than dating Taylor Swift. Warning, you're losing money by not using bio warfare. Right. So you get the point. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a challenge for you to be willing to start now, knowing you're not as good as you're going to be a year from now. But guess what? The best time to plant a tree was when? 20 years ago. When's the next best time to plant a tree? Today. So today is the time to stop beating around the bush, go plant that tree. And the tree is getting your message out there in a manner that can impact people, that can get them to see through either the 9 words, through the Carlton Kern process. Here's what I've got. Here's what it'll do for you. Here's what to do next, and get them excited to be willing and able to throw that money at you. And you're going to get better. But the bottom line is you have to start where you are. And so don't overcomplicate it. You've got the powerful tools here. You've got the powerful training to make it happen. It's up to you to put the time, effort, energy in. And also, I'm reading some comments here. All right. Also, sit down and use this time where, guess what? In the USA, a lot of places we're not even allowed to go out and do the things. We're not able to go spend time and doing the things that we used to do. So reinvest that time, not in the escapism of watching the news, but in sitting down with a pen and paper and mapping out what is my message. Do I have my empathy map clearly identified, and knowing who my people are, and knowing what it is that's mine to do, to share with them, how to enter the conversation in their mind, what they're thinking, feeling, seeing, saying, asking, hearing. Sit down with a pen and paper and start where you are, and basically real quickly say, okay, here's who I am, here's what I have to offer, here's what they're going to get from it, and now just go into GrooveSell and create the opportunity where they can invest their money to get it, and then craft the messaging, whether that's in copy, whether that's video, or whether that is a combination of the two, and just get things going. And there's a challenge. How quickly can you get a order button up? An order button up online would be your goal. How quickly can I get something ready to rock inside GrooveSell that shows people, that basically gives them the pricing options, and has the proper thank you page in there, and has tracking if you're going to be doing the tracking, and then create the sales page in Groove Pages, and you're ready to rock. Connect GrooveSell to Groove Pages, and it's super simple. So, ladies and gentlemen, there we have how quick and easy it is. We talked about the elephant in the room, and now it's time for some Q&A. So, Donna, I've been busy yapping away here. Do we have some questions? Or if you have some questions you want to be answered, type your questions into the chat, and we're going to be diving into some Q&A here as well. But what questions do we have, Donna, that you feel we can answer today?
So I was overzealous and I didn't save any specifically for the end. Usually there's 1 or 2 questions about the process that we go through, and we didn't have any. You did such a great job that all the questions were sort of outside the training that you were specifically covering today. So excellent job showing them how to connect the product that we made last week with their page this week. There aren't any questions about that. Most of the questions were about the replays. Of course, our replays are going to be posted in the Facebook group and on Groove Cart Academy. We're in the process of changing that to Groove Digital Academy, so that's going to happen probably this week, maybe next week. We're kind of getting our ducks in a row still, so thank you so much for all of your patience. And I'm just kind of vamping right now, giving people a little bit of time to submit some questions. specifically, if you can, about the topic of getting your sales page up and ready and the content that Tom has covered.
Cool.
I do see there's a question about, do we need to apply for credit card processing? You can either apply at GroovePay for processing through us, or bring your own credit card processor. So we don't require that you go through GroovePay, but you might want to, because if you're in the US, and I think, now I'm just starting to speak out of turn, I really don't know, go to groovepay.com,
Right.
and we have options for all sorts of people in all sorts of niches there at GroovePay. Here's an interesting question.
Yep.
Sean asks, I'm midway through my year subscription with ClickFunnels. Is GroovePages ready to switch to live, or should I keep paying with GrooveFunnels until my year is up and then switch over? ClickFunnels, I guess. Keep playing with GroovePages until the year subscription with ClickFunnels is up and then switch over. I know I have an opinion about that, but what's yours, Tom?
Well, and that's an individual choice, right? I mean, because I have a lot of sites, and it depends on who the person is. A lot of sites through different tools, and basically my strategy is to transition one over at a time, right? So the good news is it doesn't have to be you've got until the end of this week to switch it all over, right? So with all the sites I have, I'm going one at a time, switching things over to GroovePages, and that's on a slow and steady transition. And then once everything is off the other ones, I can now cut ties with a lot of different services that I've been using, because GrooveSell and GroovePages takes away the need for a whole bunch of different things that I've I guess duct taped together would be the right way to summarize it. So it's an individual choice. You don't have to play hot potato unless you feel like it. You know, some people that don't have a lot of sites out there or things in that regard, you could, you know, take a look. You know, it's looking at that expense chart. Hey, here are the products and services that I'm paying for. Am I really using them? So if you're not using them, and or you could transition and get it done inside GroovePages, that's up to each and every one to make that choice when that transition is for them. But yeah, I would say there's really not one line in the sand answer. It's a more of an individual choice on everybody's unique situation.
Yep, I think you're spot on with that. Right now, I believe that GroovePages is pretty much as robust and has all the functionality that ClickFunnels does right now, today. We still have a lot that we want to implement, and there's a lot that we have planned. If there's an area where ClickFunnels has a little bit of a head start on us, it's templates. They have some more available templates than we do, but we are producing them at a really great rate, and I don't see much reason to hold off on shifting. So Sean, come over and embrace GroovePages at your own pace. So yeah, I really like your answer, Tom. You don't have to move all of your funnels. Maybe move one, maybe try it out, see what and make that decision for yourself.
Yep. And I see another question here, copywriting. Did Gary Halbert write the boron letters in prison? Yes, he did. And he wrote them to his son. And yeah, so, and that, by the way, if you search Gary Halbert, and you'll find on his blog, he wrote about how he made the mistake of inviting the people that are investigating him for some mail issues. He was sending out a lot of direct mail. He invited the investigators into his home, and he's like, never never do that, because they see you as the rich a-hole. They saw him as oh, look at it, he was doing very well. So you take people that are making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year, and they walk into a multi-million-dollar house, they see you as the rich a-hole, and it's not by a jury, it's not a representation of your peers, it's people that look up to you as you must have taken advantage of people if you're living this good. So anyhow, yeah, he wrote the letters from prison, but they're tremendously eye-opening, brilliant copywriting and business owner mentality, as well as some life lessons thrown in there. Cool.
Claude asked a great question. It's I'm publishing on my own site. How many sites can I point to different pages? How many domain names can I use for different pages on GrooveApps? Because you have purchased before our public launch, as we launch, this answer is going to change, but for everybody who has access to Groove Pages right now, you have unlimited custom domains, unlimited sites, unlimited pages. So it is truly unlimited, and I challenge you to test us on that. Go ahead and hook up 1,000 custom domains and have sites on them. Nothing would please us more than for you to test the limits of what we call unlimited.
I see someone also asking, where is it? Import ClickFunnels pages and funnels into Groove Pages, and that's Mike Filsane mentioned this a few trainings ago when he went through some things that were coming up, and the development team is actually creating an opportunity that's going to be available to us in the near future. We'll be able to see any page that's on the internet and import it in. It won't be able to import the funnel per se, but page by page you'll be able to import them in, if that makes sense. And that said, I talked about it earlier, obviously doing things ethically, honestly, and legally, that would also require updating the pictures and updating the copy and all that, which there's going to be some things that the dev team is putting in place to where it will minimize anyone making that mistake of possibly getting themselves in some hot water with that. So that's coming soon, but not directly from ClickFunnels into Groove Pages, if that makes sense. More of any page on the internet would be able to be brought into your Groove Pages account. And we're going to see that in the near future.
George asked about when we'll have our autoresponder up and running. And we are slotted to have GrooveMail ready for our launch, which was supposed to be June 1st. Now, with all of the changes that have happened later, we don't know if we're going to launch on June 1st. We may push that to a later date. Obviously, everything is a little bit up in the air, which makes it even harder. Last week, it was hard for me to say when something would be ready. This week, it's so much harder to say when something would be ready. But as of now, we're still all working full force, full out, and planning on having our autoresponder ready for launch time, which is June 1st. I don't really see the autoresponder being ready changing all that much, but we may not launch on June 1st, which means you may get the opportunity to be part of the exclusive GrooveFunnels membership for a little while longer.
Very cool. All right, any other ones in there? Let's see here.
Mark is asking about a survey application. Yes, it's on the plan. I don't remember whether it is slotted for the end of 2020 or in 2021, but in our Facebook group, so if you go to groovedigitalfb.com, join our Facebook group if you haven't already, search for the word Grooveon or State of the Grooveon. Mike did a 3-hour, I think it was a 3.5-hour webinar that goes through in-depth our development plan. So if you have any question of will there be this, will there be that, that is the webinar for you to watch. It answers all of those questions.
Very cool. And then I've been pasting in some resources. There was someone that asked if we could get the resources, so I've been putting those in here. There's one more here. I'll put this over. This one I did a search, Donna. I think I shared it last week. You'll see this. I'll actually flip over to this right now. This is a pretty interesting one. Safari. Where did I post it? Here we go. So the one I just put in there for you. This is a tool that I think uses Google to do this, but similar to how we went to the idea generator and just typed in a subject, you can type in any subject. I typed in make money, and it goes through a process that shows what the world is asking Google. So look at make money, right? Can make money from Forex, can make money from Instagram, on Instagram, blah, 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 all this. And this gives you data like at an unbelievable level. Like this would take hours and hours of sitting into Google and typing all this stuff in, but it shows you what people are asking Google. So as you scroll through it, it can give you some eye-opening insights. So I shared that. That was someone actually shared this, Donna, what, a week or two ago. I didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know about it. I think they shared it in here. So one of our members in here shared this.
I think it might have been George. It was really good.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
So this, I mean, obviously this is just for make money, but whatever your topic is, that is pretty wild, right? So that's another great resource that peeks into, like the empathy map peeked into, you know, the mind. This takes it a whole nother level. This is what your audience with your topic is actually thinking about. So that one might be good to look at as well. What is the other one here?
Patrick asked if there's a good place to buy domain names. I think they're all pretty much largely the same.
Namecheap and GoDaddy. Well, Mike and
Yeah.
I ran into GoDaddy issues a long time ago, and a lot of people, it goes down the path of, well, that would never happen to me until GoDaddy secures your URL, and you're like,
Yeah.
crap, it happened to me. Kind of like, I will never get kicked out of PayPal. Well, they kick, you know. So GoDaddy does have a unique way of commandeering URLs if they get enough. So basically, a competitor of yours could put a campaign to have a few of their people reach out saying that you are a scam in some sort of fashion. GoDaddy is the only registrar that can actually commandeer a website. And it took one of Mike's sites years ago that we were actually unable to get back for a long time, and it cost a lot of money in trying to get that site actually back to proper hands. And it was not from any legitimate reason. It was just a ridiculous reason. So we don't recommend GoDaddy for that reason, but Namecheap has always been pretty reliable. And you know, they're all
That being
right down the
said,
side.
ask us how many domains we have on GoDaddy still.
Yeah, right, exactly, right. Yeah, so yeah, GoDaddy, you know, is the most common, but yeah, it's it's only when you get massive momentum usually that you have problems. So anywhere is pretty much fine, but Namecheap recommended. All
Jason
right.
asked this question. I have a membership site on Kartra. I'd love to move the whole process over to Groove Digital. Do we have an alternate process until Groove Members is done? What membership platform would I use and how would I connect it? So we are working on integrations with Kartra and Kajabi specifically for this, for the membership area. We're also trying to get kind of a bare bones membership, a lot of very similar to what you'd see in Kartra, which I consider to be a bare bones membership. Available as soon as possible in GrooveFunnels. For now, I suggest that you just hang on, because the process of moving it over to Kajabi, if the Kajabi integration is done sooner than the Kartra integration, will probably take you longer than just waiting for the Kartra integration. I don't have a date on that, Jeff, or Jason, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Great question by Oscar, referring to SEO. He says, does the URL structure suffer using Groove Pages? In fact, no. Groove Pages has excellent SEO, and here's why. Unlike other page builders, where the page that's published is really just a call to the database to then reconstruct your page again. It might be a JavaScript that goes to Kartra to ClickFunnels that will then rebuild your page. What Groove Pages does is it uploads the HTML. So you not only have complete function over your URL structure, but all of that HTML, which has all of that great SEO love on it, is going directly on your page. So you have stronger SEO with Groove Pages than you do with most page builders.
Very cool. Very cool. And I see it.
There's a question about looking recommendation for keyword SEO tools. I really like Uber Suggest, UBER suggest.com. It's owned by Neil Patel. It's a great free tool.
Cool. All right. Well, I love the engagement. Y'all are awesome around the world. You know, I'm seeing the great feedback. Awesome. Thanks for the insight, Ari Halbert. Cool. Yeah, a lot of engagement here, Donna. So we got a great team here, and coming and gathering amidst all the craziness that's happening worldwide. So this shows the level of commitment, and I'm excited to hear the actions that are taking place from now until next week when we meet. And next week we're actually going to be talking about some important things related to the legal pages, right? So we have people from around the world, and we're going to share some resources and tools that can help you cover your protect you properly so that you're doing the right things to ensure that your bases are covered legally with the proper
And
things
we may
necessary.
push legal pages to the following week because Mike said he wanted to come on next week to talk about
Okay.
updates.
Okay,
So
cool.
we know
Awesome.
Mike gets excited
Yeah,
and he might take
I'm
up the
excited.
whole time.
Man, I'm excited. The last 2 times he's been on have rocked. I mean, just all of our worlds as far as him. He's so in it, and then when he shares what is going on and what's coming up, I mean, he's excited. I'm excited, and I think we're all excited because it's quite exciting. There's no other way to put it. Cool. Anything else for today?
There are lots of questions. More than we could cover in the next couple of minutes, and we're wrapping up. So I will say that if you have questions that are more than just curiosity questions, any issues with your site, reach out to support. All the curiosity questions, are we going to have this? When are we going to have that? Go into our Facebook group and look for that State of the Groovian, and that will answer all of those questions. You'll hear all about the page imports. You'll hear all about the email functionality that we're planning, the fact that we're planning surveys, webinars, the whole thing. You'll get all of that in that State of the Groovian.
Perfect.
And it's a long one, but it is absolutely worth every minute.
Very cool. Is that Make Money data? Tom showed a link to Make Money. No, that's this tool which someone a couple weeks ago shared this tool with us, and it's really cool, called Answer the Public. And all I did was type in a search in the top here where it says new search. I typed in search for Make Money, and that were the results for Make Money. And so that's just one example. And it's pretty eye-opening. And actually I searched this, he's probably when he shared it with us that same day. So I wonder if there'd be a different results if it was searched today with the changes that have happened in the last week or 10 days. But anyhow, pretty cool. All right. All right. So guys and gals, thanks for coming out. Been awesome spending this time with you. Hopefully this training was helpful. We're excited to see the implementation that goes into play from now until next week when we meet. Same time, same channel, 6 p.m. This upcoming Tuesday. And there's the training this Thursday as well for the e-commerce aspect. So if you want to dig into that, jump into the training this Thursday. And Donna, anything else for today?
Yeah, just a encouragement, as you know, obviously things have changed and we're all kind of in our forced house arrest. Reach out if you feel like you need it. If you want someone to talk to, start a conversation in our group. I love these webinars because I love chatting with all of you in the chat while Tom is delivering content. I'm trying to answer questions, and I love connecting with all of you. And part of that is because I sit here in my home office and talk to a couple people during the day, but mostly I'm alone. And coming to these webinars every Tuesday and Thursday reminds me that I am not alone, and none of us are. So if you are feeling any of that as a result of being locked up in your home, reach out. We have friends at Groove Digital. You have friends in our Facebook group, and we Groovesters have to stick together. So
Yeah,
we're here for you guys.
100%. Thank you for that, Donna. And yeah, keep your head up and keep on moving forward. Don't let all this craziness pull you into that vortex. Stay in the vortex of providing that massive value with your products and services to your ideal prospects and future clients. And watch how, as you impact their lives, you'll fulfill that quote from Zig Ziglar. You can have everything in life you want if you help enough others get what they want. So rock this day, rock this week. Look forward to seeing you next Tuesday. And there's a training this Thursday as well if you want to jump in for the e-commerce training. But thank you all, and we'll chat with you soon. Bye for now. Thanks, Donna.
Thanks.